Call to order for the Culture Committee. We'll begin with the invocation by Counselor Callison.
Our most kind and gracious and righteous Heavenly Father, we thank you, dear God, for this opportunity and privilege to call upon your name in prayer. Please be with us, dear God, as we conduct Cherokee Nation's business today, dear God. Watch over us, bless us, help us. Thank you for giving us all a safe journey here and give us all a safe journey home. Bless our families, be with us home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, with no Counselor Callison, at this time I'm going to ask for the roll call.
Yes, ma'am. Victoria Vasquez. Condessa Teehee.
Ahani.
Keith Austin. Danny Callison. Here. Julia Coates. Here. Sean Crittenden. Here. Joe Deere. Mike Dobbins. Here. Rex Jordan. Here. Johnny Kidwell. Here. Darrell Legg. Here. Wes Snowfire. Dora Petskowski. Here. Joshua Sam. Here. Mike Shambaugh. Here. Melvina Shotpouch. E.O. Smith. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Since we have all had a chance to review the minutes from the May 25th meeting, I will open the floor for a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved. Second.
Having a motion and second, I call for a vote.
Aye.
Any in opposition? Hearing no opposition, we will move forward to the reports. First, we have Molly Jarvis from Cultural Tourism.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
It's a pleasure to be here with you this morning. Feels like it's been a while since I've done this. I have a few updates that are, some are in the report and some are just some updates on the side of the report. I was just talking to Counselor Teehee and Counselor Austin over the last couple of weekends. We've had some great events. Our schedule's very busy throughout the tour season, but I had the opportunity to attend some of these and really see the work of the team. Weekend before last was our inaugural ribbon skirt fashion show and market. And it was a very well done event. Just a lot of confidence in the artists who showed their works and the models that they had showing us the fashion. So just a great event with just exuding confidence through that event for some of the culture that was represented there. And then just this last Saturday, we had the closing ceremony. We don't always do this for exhibits, but this one really warranted this event, and it will have a life beyond the Cherokee National History Museum. We had the closing of the We Are Cherokee, Freedmen and the Right to Citizenship event. It had a special reception. Chief Hoskins spoke, and then our panel, our Freedmen History Advisory panel, spoke about the creation of the exhibit, some of the items that they brought forward to help us with the exhibit, put on display. And so it was just a really nice closing event to honor that time in history and to include that it will be a part of the history that we're telling in all of our facilities moving forward. And we do think this exhibit will have a life beyond it's the closing. So we have plans for it to travel locally and then nationally in the coming years. Another exciting thing that happened in the last couple of weeks is the acquisition of the Will Rogers Birthplace Museum and Ranch. This purchase was finalized on June 7th, and then we had the signing ceremony on the 12th. Another event that will take place at that location is the Will Rogers and Wiley Post Fly-In. That's going to be Saturday, August 12th, if you want to add that to your calendar. One of the major and large projects that we are working on is the Cherokee Heritage Center. Of course, we're still doing the master planning. We should have some conceptual renderings for the site late this summer. So we're probably about 8 weeks out from getting those. And we don't have any target on groundbreaking or anything for that yet. So just working on the renderings and the master plan still. Wanted to mention that the Cherokee Homecoming Art Show is being planned. It will start on August 12th and run through September 9th. There is an opening reception on August 11th, if you want to add that to your calendars. A couple of things that are not in the report. We have launched a couple weeks ago the Cherokee History course, and those sessions are going really well. We have several classes that have been booked to capacity, so we continue to do those locally, and then are reaching out to our at-large organizations to have those history courses there as well. Something that is happening later this week is the implementation of the Artist Recovery Act that Chief Hoskin put into place, and that includes cultural classes, includes some marketing access for our artists, facility enhancements, a resource collection, and then some original art acquisition. So we are preparing a bid for art that will go out to all artists in our database. And I think those are my notes on the big things happening. If there are questions.
Counselor Legg.
Thank you. Is the history course available online? Like, are y'all going to video it to where maybe at some point we can just put it online and allow people to do it that way?
Yeah, that's a great question. We still have a lot of curriculum development to do with the history course, but I imagine, since that's kind of the way of the world these days, that would be an option sometime in the future, but we don't have specific plans for that right now.
All right, any other questions for Molly Jarvis? Seeing no other questions, thank you for your report today.
Thank you so much. Good to be here with you all.
Next, we will hear from the Cherokee Nation Language Department and Executive Director Howard Payton.
Still God,
CO.
glad to be here today, and I tell you what, I'm excited about having a nice month of July. It seems like it's not very hot in comparison to what I remember what July is supposed to feel like. And just a personal note, I've wanting to cut some hay, and the rain is continues to affect me, and I never thought that I would be saying, man, I'm trying to find a good time to cut hay in July, right? That's a good problem. So I'm glad to be here today, and I hope that everybody's having a good day. I'll not keep folks very long here. I'll go over a little bit of stuff with the reports. I did want to put a little tidbit out there. On June the 5th, we took a group of Cherokee speakers to North Carolina, and it was when we opened up Durban, we had some tickets that we gave out, so we had 2 charter buses of elders, and I tell you, it really it was a blessing to see. A lot of them hadn't been very far. There was a few times that we got on some of them mounds. That one mound, Kawi mound, we got up on there, and they said this is the most speakers been there since maybe, I don't know, whenever we seeded it. And so to see them guys all holding hands on top of that mound, singing, praying, there was a kind of a wind that started blowing up through there that felt more than just regular wind. And so it was really good. And it was kind of an honor to be with them guys and try to serve them. I reminded of my mother a little bit. She used to, she'd cook a lot for the neighborhood. And one of the things I remember saying, Mom, why do you have so much food? And she said, well, I believe that I may have the honor of feeding somebody extra today. And so it was an honor to be with them and to serve them the best we could. And so that was a good thing. So I got kind of maybe a little bit too deep, but I want to let you guys know about that. The online participation in the online classes, we had 2,107. The language translations internally, we had 13,831, externally 1,023. Language technology, of course, hands out a lot of posters. We had about 250 of them, 300 of the drives out. That's something that is good with our cartoon. I think there's 8 different books. I don't know what all in them little 8 gig drives that people really seem to enjoy them because you can just have things at your fingertips. Teacher Bridge program, they also went to North Carolina during that same time. The University of Carolina, Western University of Carolina, did a pretty good session with all of us about the location of the mounds and stars and how during the winter solstice, the sun would come through the mountains and hit at a certain place, and it's a little bit amazing at how much more our elders knew, or the ancient Cherokee Society does, versus maybe what we know now, because they're some of the stars and that sort. The mounds are setting in the exact same location as what the layout of the sky is, and it blew my mind. But so that's some of the things we was looking at to one day add in the curriculum and that sort of thing with the immersion school, and so them guys was really taking that all in, and so I thought it was good. Working on some exercise videos in Cherokee. I think that's good that we're working on 3 of them through Teacher Bridge, and they've been helping with 14 Gen and continues to learn more and more and more about how to teach Cherokee better. Thus far, we've recorded 188 speakers on our dictionary project, or Saving the Voices project, and had a little bit of needed some wording or whatever to get some payments out on that with finance, and we've been able to work through that, and so I think everything should be in order. Cherokee Language Speaker Bureau hosted a total of 181 speakers during the month of May and June. Wade Blevins represented Cherokee Nation Language Department in the 2023 Language and Cultural Services hosted in Tulsa Public Schools in June. He did a presentation about comprehensional input, and that's some things that he really likes to share. Master Apprentice Program is doing well, and Language Technology has continued to work with some of the big companies like Apple and Google. I want to give a shout out to Apple. You guys seen Deputy Warner has worked with us quite a bit on us and Sequoia both on Apple helping us with some technology, and so they gave us quite a substantial amount of Apple product just for free for the emerging school students, and so from drones, that sort of thing. So we're doing some classes, and to hear some of that, flip into Cherokee of how to fly a drone is not only cool but really cute, I can tell you. Cherokee Speaker Services, we have 110 active projects. We've completed 37, and we have 67 in bid process. I'll be more than glad to try to answer any questions you guys may have. Well done.
All right. Do we have any questions for Mr. Payton? Counselor Kidwell.
Mr. Payton, thanks for being here today. Always good to see you. Appreciate everything that you do over there in the language department. I know it's just an immense job, and you're doing great at that. I've got a question about Cherokee Speaker Services for a second. Does do those services reach beyond the reservational boundaries at this point? I mean, to say, I know we're looking at appliances and building porches and all those small things. If we've got a Cherokee speaker that lives, in Tulsa County, but off the reservation, are they eligible for assistance through that program?
So when we wrote this, we wrote it with the concept of we're trying to do everything we can to secure that asset. That is a speaker asset that is, we're trying to preserve the best we can. And so we purposely did not write a jurisdictional boundary on that. Now, we're looking at, there's some that's right on the border or whatever, so we have not put a jurisdictional boundary with that, and we may have to look at stuff as a case-by-case basis and see what is smart to do versus not, but at this point, there's nothing that limits that.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate that answer. I just want to make sure that I can send people that way whenever I do get those calls, because we're getting them, and I'm sure Dr. Coates would agree, we're getting those calls on a regular basis, and there's been an uptick in that, especially for our speakers are really, even the ones off of the reservation, even more so, are contacting me more and more often. So I just want to make sure that I can properly give them your number and they've got somewhere to turn.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Counselor Sam?
C.L. Howard. Hey, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, Counselor.
I know, just the one thing in our area, I know a lot of great work. We're seeing it every day. Just that communication with some of them that might be further out on some of their projects, are we able to give them calls, just say, hey, you're 4 to 8 weeks out, type time frame?
Counselor, that's something that you've represented and you've pushed for, and we're trying the best we can. We're doing more and more. I will say, in the last probably 3 weeks to a month, they have increased the output. They've doubled the output of speaker services, and that's good. We're building a team that's doing a little better, but we purposely have put in some more staff in that just to make sure that our communications hyphen better, and also to know that we have resources right now that we may not have years and years and years from now. When the concept of speaker services came out, it wasn't just for housing. It was for medical. It was for different things. It's bottlenecked a little bit into housing right now because there's such of a need there. But we're hoping that we can lift this up as high as we can, get as much of that particular need taken care of while we have the resources, and then be able to maintain that, and then also do some good social work, because you wouldn't be surprised of where you live at some of the situations that we deal with their extended family and kids and grandkids and coming in and out of there that's dealing with substance abuse and that sort of thing. We're trying our best to, see what areas we can protect and where we can help that speaker not be taken advantage of, if that makes sense.
Right, definitely. Like, I'm sure Sean agrees. We see the great works every day, just that little small thing there, communication. And
Yeah.
sometimes that communication is kind of fellowship for those speakers too. They enjoy those calls,
Yeah.
but we see the work every day and just commend your staff on that.
Sometimes I can tell somebody exactly what they was going to call me. They called me about today. I told them the same thing yesterday. I think sometimes it's like what you're talking about. It's that fellowship, that talking, and knowing that somebody cares. That's a good part of our job too. So, yeah, with them.
All right, and next we have Counselor Smith.
Yes, sir.
All right, and as a reminder, what is the size of your speaker services staff?
So, that varies a little bit, with, because because we have a group that's also with career services, and so I think we're running about 20 of them that's working through career services with us, and then we have about 8 or 9 that's working in speaker services now. So we've got some openings that's coming up and that sort of thing. But from Sammy Eagle and then about 18 months ago to then Denise Starr coming on, that has increased, and to see what they've done, that little bitty group of staff and the work they've done, there's always plenty of improvements that we need to do, but it's not uncommon to talk to one of them at 11 o'clock at night with a problem, and they just keep it churning. So
Yeah.
I'm impressed with them guys.
Yeah, as am I. I appreciate the work that's being done there in the Cherokee Language Department, and I think that the Cherokee Astronomy Project sounds really amazing.
Yeah.
I know that I've had elders talk to me about the fact that we have our own words for constellations, that, the moment when that brightest star is at the tip of a waxing or a waning moon, that there are words for those things.
Yeah.
So I think that's particularly exciting among all of the other things, the other exciting things that are being done. So I look forward to seeing progress on that, and I really thank you for your report today. Do we have any other questions for Mr. Payton? Okay, seeing no other questions, we appreciate your report and the work that's being done.
Well done.
Well done. Next, we will hear from Community and Cultural Outreach and Mr. Kevin Stretch. Yo.
I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate Howard giving me a call because on this meeting, because my schedule says 6 PM, and I'm like, wonder why we're having a 6 PM meeting. So anyway, here I am. I'd like to say, first of all, that we had a successful conference, and we had about 2,100 people online signed up, but about 660 actually viewed our programming online, and then we had some 350 in person this time, and we also had about 120 that lived on the reservation that were watching online as well. So, but it went pretty well. I would also like to bring up that we have online on the CCO website the CCO policies. In the past, we had our policies not in a combined document, and now they're all combined. It is in a draft form. We have updated the policies, and they're available. If you go to cherokee.org, and look up Community and Culture Outreach, and our policies are on there. So we'd appreciate any input that you have. And it will give you all of our policies from the volunteer program to new organizations, at-large organizations, on-res organizations, as well as, we are the superintendent of the cemeteries funding, and so that's all on there as well. So with that, I'm open for any questions.
Excellent. Do we have any questions for Mr. Stretch? All right, looks like you're off easy today. Thank you very much. Okay, and next we will hear from the Cherokee National Treasures Advisory Committee, Ms. Betty Frog. CO.
Cherokee National Treasures are featured at the Saline Courthouse Museum on a 3-month rotating basis. The following treasures and their work will be featured in the upcoming months. Anna Sixkiller just finished up hers. Hers was called In the Language of Reeds, closed on July the 8th. Dan Meek, graphic design. His exhibit, Cherokee by Design, is scheduled to open July 7th, 2023. It will be on display until October 7th, 2023. As part of their exhibit, each national treasure has the opportunity to host an artist talk and/or demonstration held at the museum. There are currently 7 Cherokee National Treasures committed to teach in the Cherokee National Treasure Mentorship Program. Their art forms include basketry, pottery, and mask making. Each year, the program budgets for 10 national treasures to host class sessions for 2 or more students at a time. As part of the mentorship program, the mentors and their students participate in the annual Cherokee National Treasures Student Art Show. This year, the show will be held on Saturday, September 2nd, from 9 to 3. This will be held in conjunction with the Cherokee Artisan Marketplace to be held on the lawn of the Cherokee Natural History Museum. Cherokee National Treasure nominations deadline was June 9, 2023. There was a total of 11 nominations and submitted to the committee. The selection process was difficult this year with so many talented artists. Submitted for the honorable designation. The committee made their final selection on the new treasures. The treasures will be notified by the 1st of July. They will receive their official Cherokee National Treasure title during the events of this year's Cherokee National Holiday. Any questions?
All right, do we have any questions for Ms. Frog? And I know you're unable to tell us who the new national treasures are, but can you share with us how many were selected?
I believe it was just 3.
The 3. Okay, wonderful. Well, we look forward to welcoming those national treasures into the National Treasure Group and celebrating them this Cherokee National Holiday.
Yes.
I don't see any questions, so it looks like you're off easy today. We appreciate you coming in, and we appreciate the work that the Cherokee National Treasure Advisory Committee does. I know it is very difficult, especially during this time of year.
Yes. Well, Nigad.
But no. All right, we have now concluded our reports. There is no old business, and there is no new business. Do we have any announcements? All right, Counselor Crittenden.
This be some of our last culture committee, right? Mm-hmm. Is that right? Well, just want to say thank you to you guys, and it's been an honor to be a small part of this great thing that's going on right now. So thank you all for your work, and Howard's left, but it's been fun, hasn't it? This culture committee, seeing the impact that the Cherokee Nation is having on the culture, and everything's strong. So anyway, that's all I had to say. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for those words of appreciation, Counselor Crittenden. And I know that although we will have some new counselors coming in, you, Counselor Austin, and Counselor Jordan will, and Counselor No Fire as well, you will all be missed very greatly. Any other announcements? Any other words to share before we conclude? All right, the next meeting is tentatively scheduled for Thursday, September 28th at 11 a.m., and I need one more motion. All right, and we are adjourned.